So this is from, right,
Ty.
this is a longer one. Yeah.
Some people are probably thinking this is the end of the world.
That's true.
Do you think it could be?
Yes.
How can you say that?
That wasn't the answer you wanted.
Couldn't you pretend to be like you used to be? Give me some comfort.
People break down into two groups. When they experience something lucky, group number one sees it as more than luck, more than coincidence. They see it as a sign, evidence that there is someone up there watching out for them.
Your friend, you not even feel it.
Group number two sees it as just pure luck, a happy turn of chance. I'm sure the people in group number two are looking at those 14 lights in a very suspicious way. For them, this situation is a 50-50. Could be bad, could be good. But deep down, they feel that whatever happens, they're on their own. And that fills them with fear. Yeah, there are those people. But there's a whole lot of people in the group number one. And they see those 14 lights. They're looking at a miracle. And deep down, they feel that whatever's going to happen, there'll be someone there to help them. And that fills them with hope. See, what you have to ask yourself is, what kind of person are you? Are you the kind that sees signs, sees miracles? Or do you believe that people just get lucky? Or look at the question this way. Is it possible that there are no coincidences?
So what would you say about that?
I don't believe in coincidences. I think that's very interesting uh insight. I don't know. What do you think? Do you feel like you're one or the other?
But that's the point, is like, if you believe in religion, you would think, okay, you're going to try to attribute meaning to everything, just in some selective way that, like I said, is not even accountable, because something bad happens to you and you just discount it. It's never used to discredit the belief system that something bad happens to you. But something good happens and you always give it credit, right? And attribute it to that. So if I
Well,
was to
bad
think
things are
about it, I would just, it's sort of like luck isn't even a real thing, because it's sort of like people think everything revolves around them. So then you feel like something good happens, you're lucky. Something bad happens, you're unlucky. Right, but that's like a human-centric point of view, that like you think it's supposed to revolve around you. Right, like weather events happen all the time, but now we think they're against us or something.
Yeah, I think whenever he's talking about lucky, I'm wondering if he means that those people believe in everything is like by chance and they just happen to get the negative by chance instead of the positive by chance. So I think I understand what he's saying about the lucky unlucky, not necessarily being um a superstitious kind of thing, just more like what are the odds? Oh, the odds were not against me, or they were against me this time, you know?
So in that situation, like, you would say what? Okay, aliens are invading the planet. Like, again, someone, a realist like me, or whatever I call myself, would be like, okay, it kind of just is what it is, because what's going to happen is going to happen. If they take over, if they enslave us, whatever. Right, like,
Yeah.
that's the reality of it. But you would say what to that?
I would say like what the heck is happening? First of all. But also I think like I would obviously be in prayer and be like, okay, Lord, what do we do? Like, what are we supposed to, and honestly, I would just try and use discernment, which is like listening to what the Holy Spirit is trying to say. or is saying, and try to figure out from there. Kind of. Does that make sense?
But so like when people have had a country invaded and they were praying and they got taken over and it didn't help them or stop that, what would that show about it?
I mean, I think that's sad, but ultimately when they die, they're going to heaven. They're not just gonna be dead on the floor, you know.
But they could have still gone to heaven and kept their land. So like why does that have to be a negative? Why do they have to go through that?
I don't know.
And why did
That
those
things happen
people
every day.
why did the
It's just
invaders
like
get to reap the spoils of that too? That God is rewarding them for being violent?
no. I mean, it says that the Lord will judge everyone as they should be judged. So it's not like he's a very just God. Justice will be done, negative and positive. But what you need to ask yourself, like, okay, even though bad things happen, why is there life? Why is there the world? Why is there anything? Why? Like, why that? Why this? Why that? Why is this here? And the answer I can provide you with is that the Lord created everything for His purpose, even if we don't understand it, to worship Him and to have community with Him.
Why
Because
can't we
He
just
wanted
say
us.
nature then? It's not God, it's just nature.
But why did nature appear? Why did nature come to be?
Why did God appear?
God didn't appear. God has always been and always will
Okay,
be.
nature has always been that.
But it hasn't.
How can you say that?
Well, I mean, that's a good question too, but even the people that believe in the Big Bang Theory believe there's a beginning.
But even so, where does God fit into that? Or you don't believe in the theory, probably, but
I don't really care about the Big Bang Theory, honestly. I know that's a silly thing to say, but I'm just like, well, if that's how God had it happen, then yes. I don't believe in evolution like from monkeys and stuff. That's
really, that's
absolutely not.
accepted science.
Not accepted to me. I don't see that at all. And the
Like
fact
over
that
millions of years that things don't change.
no, I
Even
think
even in your
I
lifetime things change based on how you sit. You can get scoliosis, so you don't see how that could
totally
work over millions of years.
no, I totally see how there can be like I like to say lowercase e evolution. I do not at all think that we were once monkey ape creatures. I believe Jesus, like I believe God made Adam and Eve in the garden, and they were fully human. And he made apes and he made these monkeys and all these beautiful things just as they are, and they are beautiful. But he did not make other creatures that were as intelligent as us that could build cars and iPhones and, houses and the internet. Like, there are
How
no
many
other
thousands of
animals.
years ago did that happen? The Adam and Eve thing.
There's a lot of different speculation. I'm not the scientist to talk to you about that, but some people say it was millions of years ago,
Right.
like you would, and then some people say about 10,000 years ago.
No, I
So,
wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say it happened at all.
okay.
No,
That's
but
right.
you're denying basic science. I didn't know you would say that. So
No, I'm
these are
just.
things that are basic, accepted by everybody in every part of the
Well, why is
world.
it called? It's the Big Bang Theory.
No, no,
The
not that.
theory,
Like evolution is pretty basic.
but it's the theory of evolution.
It's pretty much a sure thing because but how do you explain things that used to be alive that aren't alive anymore? Or
It just went extinct.
but that's a sign of so then where if they went extinct, then where did everything else come from? There's evolution going on to make
Well,
other life forms. If the other so what you're saying is there was just one life form and it went extinct and then now there's no more life.
no, no. So, okay. So, from my understanding, the Big Bang Theory and all of evolution comes from saying, obviously, whatever, the Big Bang, atoms, whatever, the world started, and there was rain, and rain hit these rocks, and somehow the rain and the rocks created bacteria, and the rain and the rocks and the bacteria created like a little frog creature, and the frog creature became something else, the frog creature became something else, and somehow that created all people, all bugs, all animals, all dogs, everything.
Sort of
That's
like that.
that's the whole summary that I've been given by the American public school, and that is ridiculous. The amount of detail we have even in our ears and our
But
eyes.
because of
Heck, have you
time,
seen our eyes?
you don't appreciate
But
the passage of time. This is which you don't really accept that, but it's billions of years. So like the changes could be small over. We're thinking in terms of human time, like over one lifetime or something. Over billions of years, think about the changes that could happen. So then it's more believable, isn't it?
I still see it as unbelievable because, like, I understand that is a large amount of time, but to say that by chance the human eye can see everything and it's all reflecting and it's upside down when you're a baby and then you understand that it's right side up once you understand gravity, like all these little tiny details that we all came from a little blob that was an accident. It's just like, how can all of this be an accident?
But this
Like,
is kind of
even
what
that.
sometimes people say is random or accident. It's random or accident compared to what exactly though? This is like, let's say those are the events that happen. Okay, wherever everything came from, but like, okay, there's water, there's rain, it makes a single cell organism. It, over time, they survive, they move to different environments, so they evolve into other things, which would have to be the accepted hypothesis. Otherwise, I don't know where else you think all this is coming from, but whatever. So the point is, these things just happen. So like, when people say random or by chance, like compared to what would not have been random then?
Compared to a all-knowing, brilliant, planned out plan. Think about a house. Some person writes down all of the ideas and constructs the measurements and makes it perfect and builds a model, and then they understand the amount of feet every room is going to be, and then they make the plan and they build the house and the house looks great.
But they
That
allow the
is
house to be
how
destroyed
things
in
are
a flood
made.
and all that.
They can. But, like, that is how things are made. Things are made by intelligent minds. And I don't believe that these amazing things can be made out of nothing that didn't have an intelligent mind behind it, a creator, you know?
You look at the world and you see like a pattern or a design. Not that it is
Totally.
random,
Yeah.
even if so many things that would have happened, for example, throughout history, even in human history, that you would disavow or like condemn, like immoral things, you wouldn't say that's random or how is that allowed to happen? Or again, other animals and other. You would say it's part of a design. So then what exactly is the point of the design?
To glorify God and to have a relationship with Him and to worship Him. But then again, it's like even if we're putting that aside, the having a relationship with God part, it's like the diversity of the species on the earth is insane. And I
Which
just
points
can't
to
believe.
evolution.
Well, no, in my case it points to creation because everything is so detailed. I just watched a 30-minute show about sperm whales yesterday and how their clicks imitate language, like how we have letters and words and stuff. And I was like, that's so cool, but it's so different from like dolphins and all these other creatures. And
But
it was just
it
really
would
interesting.
imply the creation argument would imply nothing ever changes. Right? They'd all be
No.
the same. They were created and then they're always the same.
So the creation argument would, no, it doesn't. Because, like, yes, everything was created, but we still believe things can evolve in ways that are small, not evolve like evolution, the theory. So, like, I say lowercase e. Like, okay, on your wrist, there's two lines.
Yeah.
There used to not be those two lines. That's a new thing in the last 200 years. And we know that. Like, there's basic science.
Well, when you're saying evolution is small, it is small. That's why it takes billions of years to do it. So you're not appreciating the passage of time in saying that.
Well, I just don't think I don't think over billions of years an ant and a person will both be evolved from the same amount of goop.
It's
You
not
know?
exactly like that, but like based on environments and other things, like it might start with the one thing, but then that starts to develop in different ways. It's not directly like, oh, you are goop. It's like you would go through, you go through this, then it goes through billions of years of something else, right? It keeps changing.
Yeah.
Like, how old do you think the Earth is?
I don't think it's very relevant, like how old I think the Earth is, because I don't even know where I really stand on that. Because
But
it's
what would a Christian say? You got to have some.
well, it says in the Bible that Adam was about 900 years old. So like the first man ever was like about 900 years old. That's really old. And then from there on, it keeps going. I think it traces to be like a couple thousand, like less than 50,000 years old.
Many Christians accept scientific, what is it, evolution is viewing as compatible with their faith through the concept of theistic evolution, which suggests God used evolution as a means of creation. Perspective is supported by various Christian denominations and theologians who interpret biblical creation stories allegorically rather than literally. Let's see, which of these would you, hold on. Young Earth creationism, belief that the Earth is young and creation occurred as described in Genesis. Old Earth, acceptance of ancient Earth, but belief in divine creation of life forms. Belief that God guided the process of evolution, harmonizing faith and science. Intelligent design, belief that life is too this is kind of what you were saying, too complex to have arisen without a guiding intelligence.
I think I'm between um well, I do believe that creation occurred as described in Genesis, like the young earth, but I also would say like the last two as well. So,
But
I don't know. I kind of agree with all of those at the same time.
but couldn't you say, like, you're looking at it kind of backwards? I think belief is too like this one, the complex to have arisen without guiding intelligence. But it's kind of the opposite. We wouldn't be here to observe it or be aware of it if that didn't happen. So it's like it
If what
had
didn't happen.
like if we weren't intelligent enough or life didn't reach this stage, basically, right? So, or you would say that we were always like this. We didn't evolve from anything. So,
Yeah, yes.
okay. So, but the point is that it's too complex to have arisen without some plan, right?
Yeah.
So, I don't know. That I just don't. You're basically saying that. How can I explain it? Just so it's you don't think it's random, right? You think
I
everything
don't.
has a plan, but
Mhm.
that plan includes things that you would condemn, that it includes disbelief, not having to believe in God, not having anything to do with God. It includes Hinduism, it includes Muslims, it includes genocide, that plan includes all these things, right?
Yeah.
So that doesn't seem a little random, like, oh, those things maybe don't fit into being with God or what God wants.
It definitely doesn't fit in with being with God or what God wants, because we have that free will. And in the core of humans is selfishness. And so, like, all of those bad things come from selfishness and come from people wanting to be their own gods and have their own way and live outside of what God would have us say, think, or do. So, like, yes, there's some randomness because we have free will. And if God hadn't given us free will, everything would be much more orderly and, peaceful, but he wanted us to be able to make our own decisions. And it even says in the Bible at one point he was like so sad that people were making such poor choices. It said that he like almost regretted giving us free will because of how we were treating each other.
So
But
then why
even
not
though,
change it and then say, okay, let's make everybody orderly and peaceful and perfect the way I want you to be?
because I think we would actually hate that after a while and be like, why'd you take my free will away?
But there's still limits. So even see
But
that
that's what,
free will, you still have limits to the things that you can do, whether physically or mentally. So whatever your limits are, you can say we have free will, but that's still constrained to the laws of nature, to everything like that, our physical limits, our mental limits. When you
Yeah.
say free will, it's kind of not entirely true because, like,
Like we're
don't give
not.
us the ability to do something if you don't want us to do it. And then within those confines, we have free will to do amongst the things you let us do, like not killing people, but
I mean, I don't know. I understand what you're saying. Are you trying to say like we can't be super people? Like we can't be superheroes, but we can be.
like you're saying, okay, people have God wanted to give us free will, but
Yeah.
we're still limited in what we can do. It's not like we can do anything we want in the world. We can't fly, we can't live forever, whatever. So he
Yeah.
still gave us limits. So saying that, okay,
Yes.
he wants to give us free will, but he still wants to limit us.
Well, we're not immortal. Yeah.
But if he's willing to
That's why it's
limit us in
important
some
how we.
ways, then why not limit the things he doesn't want us to do?
Well, because we're not immortal, we're obviously not equal with God. We're not even equal with God in how long we'll like have free will on the earth. So, like once we get to heaven, we still have eternal souls on the line. But it's like that's why your life here on earth matters so much, how you act and how you even set yourself up for the rest of your life in the afterlife.
Or like, what if somebody's perfectly content in their life, not believing in anything, and then what's the problem?
Um Well, like it just says in the Bible that if you confess with your mouth that Jesus is Lord and you believe in your heart that he raised from the dead, you'll be saved. And it says that those who love God will obey him. And so if you truly want a relationship with God and you love him, you'll obey him. And I would continue to say that like that's the best life you can live is a life glorifying to the Lord in love, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, self-control. And the 10 Commandments. Like those are just the basics. And it's just like it's such a joyous life to live.
But if I'm saying an example, somebody who's perfectly happy, content in their life,
I don't know if that person exists.
I'm sure there are examples of people like that who, like, I'm fine without needing to believe. Like, it's just, how would you convince somebody or what would appeal to them? They don't necessarily sin or do anything wrong. They don't necessarily, well, even by whatever moral society standards, they're just content with what they're doing. They don't need to believe. So then what?
I would still share the gospel with them and just tell them like even if you're like content with your life, there's a God that sees so much more value in your life than you could ever imagine and loves you more than you could ever love yourself. And he has a plan and a purpose for your life. And it's again better than you could even imagine.
Or I would say something like this, like, if so God's plan, as you say, would allow you not to believe in him, so then that's part of his plan, so that's fine with him. Or if he wanted to be worshipped, he would come down himself and, make a display currently. Or, you know
So
what I mean? So
I guess when I say God's plan, I'm not necessarily like I'm not really talking about unbelievers. I think if I'm living an obedient life to Jesus Christ, and things go poorly, but I'm still living in obedience, I believe that's his plan. But if unbelievers are living their life, not trying to act godly or, anything having to do with, obeying God, then they're going to have stuff happen that God wouldn't want happening in their life, but they're not following him. So why would it be any different? Does that make
okay,
sense?
so answer this. The premise is God is all powerful and absolute, right? So
Yeah.
God is all powerful. Everything is part of his plan, and that plan includes people who don't believe in him or believe in other religions or don't believe in any religion at all. So if that plan includes that, that would stand to reason that he's okay with that, and that's his plan, right? You're allowing a person not to believe, and it's the fact that basically you're allowing them not to believe, and then if you wanted to be worshipped, you would come down and then have people worship and make it very clear and very obvious so that everybody would do it unquestionably, right? Kind of like a demonstration of coming back to life the way that was supposedly done, you know, like why not do that again or do that every week just to make sure that people can see it and believe it and get it on their smartphones now and all this, right? But the point is, so you're all powerful, it's part of your plan, but you allow people not to believe and you won't come down and do that. So the assumption would be, okay, he's okay with people not believing. He doesn't want to be worshipped. If you pray even, it doesn't guarantee the outcome of what you're praying for. So it's sort of like, what's the point then even in doing it?
God's plan was Jesus coming to the earth to save us from all of the bad things we've ever done. God's plan was giving us the option to have a relationship with Him and for there to be no animosity between us and Him. God's plan is His Son, like taking our place, us not having to dwell away from Him in hell. Like, that's God's plan, giving us the opportunity and chance to have hope, to have Him in our lives. Like, that's what God's plan is. Everything else that's in between, it's like He's given us options to make our own choices. And so, like, those options have led us to good things and it's led us to bad things. But ultimately, God's plan is having an opportunity to have a relationship with Him.
But again, having that option wouldn't seem to validate it then. Like, okay, I'm doing what he wants then still, even if I don't believe or whatever. The act of me not believing is part of his plan, so that's okay then. Why should I worry, right? That's something he allowed me to do. If he really wanted me to believe, he would make me believe or make it so
No,
impossible
like,
not to.
He's like, He gives the option to people to believe. Like, if they truly want to believe, they will believe. It says that faith as small as a mustard seed will move mountains. So even if you have this much amount of faith and you decide to put your faith in Jesus and pray and tell Him that you want to believe in Him, then you will be saved and you will have a relationship with Christ if you pursue it too.
But again, you don't, not believing is part of his plan, and that's an option he gives. So therefore, that's okay.
Uh, it's like It's like a kid in a candy store. Like, you take your kid to the candy store, but they're picking out the candy. Like, God wants us to choose Him, and, like, that's the best option, but we can still choose other things that are not as good as Him.
Which would imply then he's okay with that, right? Like if he really wasn't okay with it, he would make it so.
I mean, it says that it breaks His heart whenever we choose other things from Him, but, like, He doesn't want us He doesn't want a little army of robots that are designed to only worship Him, only choose, like, the best thing. Like, that's why He gave us free will, so we wouldn't just be little mindless robots, you know?
But if he really is the best thing and all powerful, why not? It would be the best for
Well,
us.
that's gonna be more like what heaven is like. Like, we're still gonna have our personalities and, like, things going on, but we will always just choose the best thing because we know that's what's best. Oh, sorry. I don't know what time it is. Can you say what time it is?
Yeah, it's like 7:10
Oh, it's 6:10 for me.
or 6:10.
Okay, I think I have to go,
Okay,
actually. I'm sorry. I know we've gone.
that's fine. Yeah,
The
it's probably
time
been
today
about an
was a little
hour.
strange.
But
Yeah,
no,
I think
like,
we got on at like 4:30 something,
oh, in your
and
time.
then I had yeah. And then I was off for like 10 minutes because of the phone dying. Sorry about that.
But okay, give me one last thing. Is like
All right.
you, if he really wanted to believe people to believe, why not come down and do some miraculous display that's well within his power to do? Not even okay, then even people with free will, but they'll be convinced more, like do another display like the resurrection or something like that. Why not do that to compel people to do the right thing and believe, supposedly?
I believe he can. I believe if he wants to, he will. I believe if you ask, like, sincerely for him to reveal himself to you, I believe he will. You just have to open your heart to that and actually pray. Have you prayed?
I mean, I don't want to say it like in a mocking way, but like, okay, let's say I did it to test it. Like, let me see if this thing will happen. Right.
Do it.
Like, but and
Why
so
aren't
if
you
it doesn't, then that proves that it's
not
not
necessarily?
real, or it doesn't have an impact. Even if it's real, it's like, okay, so he's just out of boredom. Sometimes he'll grant it, sometimes he won't. So it does not up to me anyway. So why even bother doing it?
Well, what's the loss there? If you just like, oh, I just said these words out loud and God isn't real anyways. It's like, why is that such a loss? Like,
But it's just a principle that it doesn't make sense. Like, so if I can guarantee, okay, everything I pray for always comes true, then it's a sound process. I can't argue with that. But if it doesn't, then, there's no, and then you'll point out, oh, this one time it came true, so that validates it. But then all the other times it doesn't come true, you'll ignore that. Right? Or you won't hold that against him.